Hey, it's party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. That's me. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Tuesday. There's a lot to get into today. We're going to have a lot of fun. I appreciate everyone who is tuning into the podcast, whether if it's on Facebook, again, you're learning, you're getting better. And there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people on there. Yesterday, I did a live feed video, and I also showed some pictures of the new Studio 22 that we're working on. I say we, I'm not. I just go in there and kind of point every now and then, and the crew around Blaze TV and Mercury Radio, they are actually doing the work. But everybody said, oh my God, you're never going to be on Facebook again. No. I will be on Facebook. I will personally still do truck videos. I'll do all these things. It's amazing to me how people, I said, the podcast is going to be over on YouTube. We're going to be pulling it off of Facebook. Because, again, we have to be able, I've told you this for months now, we have to be able to count the numbers. We have to be able to get the analytics. We can't do it from Facebook. So we get it on YouTube, and we get it where podcasts are offered. I encourage people to go to Apple Podcasts, go on Android, Google Podcasts. You can go to Stitcher, SoundCloud, blah, 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 blah. It's a million different places. And let me tell you something, folks. It's all free. Candice, the queen of the Ethiopians. Did you read the comments yesterday? People were losing their freaking minds.
As soon as I read that you would put that in there, I was like, okay, now we wait and watch them roll in. It was
like I
intense.
Say things with assumptions that most folks will understand it, and then I have to go back and I'm like, what the heck did I say that led people to believe? And then people were like, I can't believe you're stepping on the little people to get to the top. We're going to wave at you on your way back down as you crash and burn.
I'm sorry I commented that.
You're welcome. You're welcome, people. I'm happy that my holy boot stepped on you on the way up. Now, the podcast has only ever been free, and it will continue to be free. You know why? Because podcasts are free. That's what we do here, Candice, queen of the Ethiopians. And if you have a problem, you blame the puppet master, Mark, who is driving this mothership, which is Studio 22. Mark, give us some profound words. How are you today?
You know, it's always a pretty good day in Studio 22 is what I got to say.
Pretty good.
Yep.
I love it. Hot news. Natalie back over there in the peanut gallery. She's sitting there looking fantastic.
Hi.
I haven't seen you in a week like in a dog's age, girl.
I know. I had a miscommunication with Candace. That was my fault. 100% my fault
Well,
last
it was
week.
never Candace's fault. That's
No.
a fact.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Party foul Steve still recouping. How's the back, buddy?
97%. I'm not going to say it's 100% because I want to keep going back to the chiropractor because that is freaking amazing.
Yeah, you just like going over there and seeing Kristen. You like going over there and seeing Michelle Krennick.
Yeah,
And,
she's like my new best friend for real.
Yeah,
Cause
Michelle
she is
Krennick's
just like,
amazing. She's fantastic. If you're in the DFW area, run over to Colleyville, and it's the name of the new clinic is.
It is BTL Back to Life DFW.
Back to Life.
It has. It makes
Michelle
a
Krennick's
difference.
one of our besties. I can't believe I just said Kristen. That's anyway. So yeah, go see Michelle Krennick. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, but you're not at 97%. But I need you there tomorrow because we got to travel.
I cannot wait to get on the road.
We got to travel.
I have been at home for like a week and a half, and
Steve's got the bags packed. He's been sitting by the curb.
Tony's going to love to see this one.
Tony is like, no, she's ready for me to leave.
Tony can't. He's
She's
been
like,
home
bye.
way too long for Tony. Branson, Missouri, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, September 11th. We're going to be there for a benefit show along with Jason Pritchett and his band, and it is benefiting the American Valor Foundation, the Chris Kyle family. Of course, we're on the board of that. So we're looking forward to being there, and then this weekend we're going to be in Folsom, California. Big show, Folsom, California. What's amazing, so we started this new show, we're starting this new show September 24th in Des Moines, Iowa, called Freedom to Laugh Comedy Tour. Myself, Reno Collier, Brian Hayner, Michael Loftus, and we're going to be there, and then we're going to be in Omaha, Nebraska the following night, the 25th, and then we're going to be in Kansas City on the 26th. Those tickets are like moving slow because they won't promote us, like they refuse because they know we're conservatives. And like Reno Collier called me yesterday, and he said, man, you know, the GM at the Omaha club, which those guys have been there a lot, you know, Reno opened for Larry the Cable Guy forever. And that's his home. That's one of his home clubs because he's a Nebraska guy. Cable Guy is. And Reno was like, you know, he names off her name, the GM, and he's like, we're like, our families used to go on vacation together. And like, she won't even return my calls or respond to my texts. So these clubs they're like, a lot of them won't promote the show because they know it's conservative comedy coming in there. and they don't want a rock coming through their window or something like that.
They don't want to make money, is what it is.
Well, I mean, I don't understand blue and red when you got green.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying. You know what? You can F the left, fight the right. We like to diddle in the middle. You know what I'm talking about? Listen to me, folks. But what's interesting, like those ticket sales in those markets where when I go in by myself, we kill it. Kill it in Kansas City. We've killed it in Nebraska. We've killed it in Des Moines. And that was the place we had bats in the theater, remember? They were flying around. They were catching them with fishing nets. Craziness. Anyway, we got shows coming up in Brea and Ontario, California. Already have outsold the ones in the Midwest. And that's why people say, man, California, it's crazy out there. There's people that are desperate for common sense. And they will buy it up. They will snatch it up. Our most supportive state is California. So we're out there. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to be in Fresno, and we're going to be in, where else are we going to be out there? We're going to be in Fresno and in Yountville, which is Napa
Valley.
Yeah. So, hey, let me talk. Let's make some money. Don't get out of here now. Don't make the numbers drop. I'm going to tell you about my underwear, because there's a lot of underwear brands out there that will claim to be big on comfort. But if that were true, then why are 75% of men and women dissatisfied with their underwear? You know you are. My hunch is they haven't tried Tommy John, the revolutionary underwear brand that's upgraded over 1 million lives. Tommy John doesn't just claim to be the most comfortable underwear on the planet. They actually have stats to back it up. Did you know there's underwear stats, Party Foul?
I just discovered a pair of Tommy John's underwear in the back seat of your car.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, where did these come from? And I was like,
that's where. Were they still in the package?
No, they're out of the package.
What have you been using them for, Steve?
I haven't.
Yeah. Like, how about this number? Over 7 million. That's the number of pairs of Tommy John underwear they've sold, with 96% of their customers rating them with 4 stars or greater. With Tommy John's revolutionary underwear, the legs never ride up and the waistbands never roll down. Now, the horizontal quick draw fly has been proven to save men over 217 unfurling minutes a year. I mean, those are real stats, people. Tommy John's more than just underwear. They got 750 products online, such as super soft loungewear, polo shirts, and apparel. Look here, guys. Here's something for the ladies in your life. After 2 years and countless hours of obsessing over every little detail, Tommy John is proud to introduce the most comfortable bras on the planet. Fact. If you prefer to shop in stores, you can find us in over 1,200 retail locations around the country, including Nordstrom stores nationwide. Tommy John, no adjustment needed. So hurry on to TommyJohn.com/WatchChad right now. Get 20% off your first order. That's TommyJohn.com/WatchChad. We're going to talk about some crazy stuff going on in the world today. And I got my buddy, my pal, who's in here, and I'm glad he's in here, the host of the Matt Locke Show podcast, Matt Locke himself. How are you, buddy?
I want to talk about the unfurling.
Yeah.
The 217 minutes of unfurling.
Every time I read that, I'm like, what are we unfurling?
Yeah, what are you unfurling?
Like, I've never unfurled.
I've never unfurled either.
I've never unfurled. I just kind of poke it out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Do you unbutton and unzip, or do you just unzip and go out the zipper? Because everybody does it
think
different.
through this now.
You got to think through this.
Are you talking about sex or peeing?
I'm talking about peeing.
Oh, well,
and
the zipper.
Sometimes sex if it's in the car.
Through the zipper. When I'm going to the restroom.
Okay.
When I want to get to business, you just take it off.
Okay. I'm just trying to.
I mean, I'm not unfurling.
No, there's no unfurling.
No, there's no unfurling.
There's no unfurling.
No.
If anybody wants to hear about an unfurling, you need to go back and listen to our episode that we talked with Aubrey Huff, San Francisco Giants world champion Aubrey Huff. He had some great unfurling stories. I bet he would.
I bet he would.
Yeah, you play with the pro ball players. My shirt is so bright today. This is John Miller's. You can get them at theblaze.com. Look at this thing. That's the White House brief. John does a great job on his show.
Yes, he does.
It makes you look pretty.
I'm representing. I look like a flower.
Little light bouncing off that white shirt and that pretty face.
Yeah, look at my teeth.
They're white. Those are some white teeth.
Real teeth, too. Not capped, not veneered, nothing. Just got braces off when I was 15. Just a mere 30 years ago.
Just a mere.
I don't even like to brush my teeth, honestly. It's just as an extra thing you got to do.
I went into the dentist the other day. My wife and I moved down here from Indiana, and it was so funny because I got a very unique voice. And I'm in the dentist's office there, and I'm laying in the chair. They always want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Well, they got that crap in your mouth.
They
want to tell you stories, right? So I'm sitting in the chair getting ready. They're doing x-rays and all that stuff. Dentist walks in, and he says, "You're Matt Locke." I said, "Yeah." He says, "I've listened to you on The Blaze." I said, "Shut your mouth." Had to move all the way from Fort Wayne to Fort Worth
to get recognized.
At the dentist office.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Listen, if you ever come to watch football at my house and Matlock is there drinking his Michelob, the champagne of beers.
Oh, well, no, it's the High Life.
That's
not
what Miller High
Michelob.
Life, not
Come
Michelob.
on.
Miller High Life, the
Miller
champagne,
High Life,
which is good.
It's the champagne of beers.
And Party Foul Steve's there, and then we've had a few other of our friends over there. It's the loudest house in the neighborhood.
I am the loudest mouth in the South. That's what I've been called these days. That's
Yeah.
the new hashtag on Twitter.
It's pretty strong.
My
You
whole
can
family's
hear
little-
me from Fort Worth over at your place.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. All right, top news story of the day. Natalie, do you have, I want to go around here. We're going to start doing this thing. We're going to come up with some brackets. Candace is working on this thing, I think, and we're going to come up with a bracket, kind of like March Madness bracket. When we're going to start doing Pick Your Outrage. And so we're going to put different things. We're going to compare outrages, things that people are getting outraged by, and we're going to do online polls and things like that. So let's see today if we can find an outrage in the headlines that people are just losing their minds over. I don't know. But Natalie, like top news story in what we're dealing with today, what do you think in terms of what's going on in the world today?
I have one that's local. But it has a national effect.
Local to Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yes. But it's happening in a lot of places, but I know kind of close to home. So there's a school district, Grapevine Colleyville ISD, that's just right up the road. Weekly, their schools are getting robocall bomb threats. So these elementary and intermediate schools are going on either lockdown or lockout. And so it's affecting the education. This school has had them for several weeks now since school started. And I talked to Gio, our state representative, yesterday, and he said they have confirmed that it is a out-of-state robocall.
So somebody's just programming these automatic callers.
They're trying to figure it out.
Call the schools.
And so these schools, they can't cry wolf, right? I mean, they've got to go into a lockout or lockdown mode, and it's not a drill until they figure out what's going on. And so I think this isn't just happening at this school district. I know that we just have friends whose kids go there, and they keep having to go on these lockdowns.
Matt, people are assholes.
God, you can say that again.
People are assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, what is wrong with people to do this kind of thing? I mean, what is the damage in somebody's head? I mean, the tax dollars that goes into that, the loss of time for education, having to scare these people, scare these kids, having to deal with this is traumatic. But then you got to call in authorities to check things out and look at everything. It's ridiculous.
Well, we're living in a time today where people are struggling with reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we see it with our politics. We're seeing it with Trump. We're seeing it with the parties. People become tribal. I'm watching your podcast last night, and by God, Icarus, you're gonna fly into the sun and fall back down for all these people. I mean, you know, I hate to say this, but why would you go about robo-calling a school?
Yeah.
Because that literally is a device that people use that dial automated numbers from anywhere. And I saw it when I was doing my program with the open phone line. You would get all these prank callers. You get this stuff. But why a school? Why education?
Right.
What would possess you in your brain to say, you know what? I'm going to pick a random 10 schools and I'm going to dial up the Wayback dial here and we're gonna robocall them for bombs. And like she said, I mean, you can't not do something.
Yeah.
You got to take kids out of school. You got to pull. What if there is a bomb?
I think people are so lacking in a sense of significance in their lives and meaning that they're just coming up with all kind of ways. And some of it very tragic from these mass shootings. Yeah. You know, because we could talk about mental illness and mental health and all of that stuff, but at the end of the day, you have people who have been told that somewhere in the back of their head, this is okay. Mm-hmm. This is how I can make a statement, make a splash. My life is so meaningless. Yeah. My life is so meaningless that I can just ruin everybody else's. Yep. And find meaning out of that.
And I think that you're hit the nail on the head. That somebody who wants to do this wants to get the most attention, and right now, to get the most attention is to attack the children. Yeah, because that is newsworthy. Yeah. But then I also want to know, Matt and Chad, what is the penalty when this person
you should put them under the jail? I mean, it's got to be.
That's the problem.
It's a terroristic threat, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. And the problem we have today is it's not gun violence. It's not these sensationalist folks. It's the penalties you get when you do it. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not deterring anybody from not doing it. You know, the penalties are so light. they're so not there that it's a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
But once again, we go back to the participation era. Everybody's got to be the same. You can't make an example out of one person, because then it would hurt their feelings. Even though they've had this threat, they've called in this bomb threat. There's just no penalty for your bad behavior.
Yeah. What does a man have to do to get a nasty toe like that one right there? Like, what's the process?
Plays baseball
Walk me
for
through.
42
Is that it?
years.
Just pushing it off the rubber?
Yeah. That's my drag foot. I've lost that. I've lost that toenail.
You need to drag it behind the truck,
Chad
man.
Prather, here's the deal. My wife looked at me last night, and she says, "What are you wearing? What are you going to wear over there tomorrow?" And she knows me. I'm a golf shorts and flip-flop guy. I love Texas. It's hot. It's 95 plus degrees. I like to take clothes off. Yeah. And I like to wear flip-flops. My combat flip-flops right there. Good fellers over there, by the way. But I've lost that toenail 23 times.
Wow. You think they would just take the toe off at this point?
I've had that pulled off several times.
Have
Not
you?
the toe, but the toenail.
The toenail.
And the problem is when it grows back, funkier.
Yeah, it's like a tortilla chip that got left in the fire.
It gets funkier.
Really, pretty, yeah. That thing's got veins in it.
I don't have pretty feet. Thanks for now. My wife's gonna be like, "See, Matt, you wore those flip flops. Today's my anniversary.
Don't hide them from
Happy
me,
anniversary,
Matt.
honey.
Don't hide them from me, man.
See, it's
hey,
my
if she
anniversary.
loves you, I love you.
Oh my
Today's
God.
your anniversary.
Today.
Fantastic.
9,
Happy
10,
anniversary.
11.
9, 10, 11.
Smart
That's when
wife.
we got married. My wife made it easy.
Yeah.
She said, "We're gonna get married 9, 10, 11, so you remember." Here we are.
That's awesome. Is she still with you?
Yes, I can't believe it.
I know.
Why? I don't know.
Did you get married in flip-flops?
I did not. I actually was in
Okay.
a full suit and actually looked a lot skinnier and
Matt
better.
Matt can dress up.
Oh, I can every now and then. I can get pretty.
You can polish a turd. I want to talk about Sarah Palin and her husband, or
Todd?
soon-to-be ex-husband, Todd Palin. I was surprised. I read this headline. Now, before we started talking, when they filed for their divorce, which they had just had their 31st anniversary.
And he filed, which is unusual because 70% of divorces are filed by women.
Yeah.
He filed for divorce.
So they went, instead of using their full names, they used their initials, SLP and TMP, Todd
TP.
Mitchell Palin.
TP.
TMP.
TP.
They trying to keep it quiet?
Yeah.
And so I don't know how you could do that. Nothing about their life has been private or quiet. They've got an 11-year-old son who has autism. Not autism, he's got Down syndrome.
Downs, I think, yep.
Sorry. And they've asked for joint custody. Of course, they've got Bristol, Piper Track, and Willow. Those are adult kids. But 31 years of marriage. He called himself the first dude of Alaska when she was governor for, 3 years?
Yeah.
Before running with McCain?
She resigned in 09, so 06 to 09, I believe.
That's right. But, I mean, hey, life happens to everybody.
Yeah, 31 years, too, and if you look at her high-profile life, I mean, she's the reason I voted for John McCain.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'll be the first to tell you that was probably the first election I was thinking about sitting out.
Yeah.
Because John McCain's a turd.
Was a turd.
Was a turd. Still is a turd. He is turding somewhere in hell. Saying that right now.
Worm dirt.
Send all your hate mail to steve@watchchad.com. As a politician, war hero, whatever you want to talk about, as a politician, I don't see any defense for John McCain.
At all.
Yeah, I just don't see any defense for John McCain.
Yep.
These are guys, how do these guys sit in the Senate and sit in Congress for 40 years? You've got Joe Biden. Poor
Joe.
I want to talk about Joe in a minute,
Joe.
but you got Joe Biden, who was in there from 73 to 09.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah, that was the year before I was born.
That's
a long damn time. My wife tells me I'm old every day.
And now he's saying he's going to do all this stuff and fix everything and do it, and he can't even. His blood vessels are popping, and this guy, and now his handlers basically are saying we don't want to book him in any speaking events or anything like that late in the day, because that's when most of the gaffes are happening. Like he's tired, and so by the end of the day. Now here you got Trump. Trump's sending out scathing tweets at 3 a.m. This guy's after it. But Biden, He doesn't know what state he's in.
I figured you might pull this up. I was thinking about this on the way over, and you make a great point. Donald Trump has changed the way politicians campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing revelation that has come upon this because, the left came after the right and said, you've got 17 Republicans that want to run for president.
Yeah.
It's too many. It's a clown. It's a circus. It's bad for the party. And then we get Donald Trump, who has been an absolute blessing in disguise. I did not vote for him as a Cruz guy, but when it came down to him and Hillary, here we are. But Trump has changed campaigning. Mm-hmm. And the left, I've been covering this on the show last week, which is amazing. The left tried to tell you in the beginning that Trump's crowd sizes didn't matter.
Right.
It wasn't the enthusiasm. It didn't matter. It was fake. It was, it was just redneck deplorable hillbillies coming out of the West Virginia hills to support him. Now what is the left doing? They're trying to tell you that Elizabeth Warren is getting big crowds. Mm-hmm. And the thing the left wants Donald Trump. But they don't want the Republican Donald Trump.
Right.
They want a candidate that is enthusiastic, that is knowledgeable, that is relatable. Nobody on the Democrat Party is relatable. And you got poor Joe. Joe's what, 900 years old like Moses?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, let him go.
He was born right after the Constitution started amending
him and
itself.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
she's
they were
dead.
Well, I think so.
She's dead.
I think so. But, poor Joe Biden is 76 years old, has probably got early onset dementia, would be my guess, because he can't recall anything. Yeah. And I had a grandmother. I talked about this on my show 2 or 3 weeks ago. My grandmother died at 73, 74. She had dementia. And one day, she'd be just as clear as could be. Yeah. She'd know who you were. You'd have a great conversation. She'd talk about things that happened in the past. 5 minutes later, she wouldn't know where she's at, who she was, who you were. And
same deal. My father, who passed away last year, 75 years old, he had dementia. Mm-hmm. And if you were with him right now in the room, good chance he probably knew who you were and he could relate to you. He couldn't talk, but, he'd try. Mm-hmm. The next day, though, he had no recollection that you'd been there. And you're exactly right. And that's not being mean, folks. It's just, this is a fact. This is a dude running to be the leader of the free world. And these guys, they have nobody. They really have nobody. For Joe Biden to be trending at 30% in the polling numbers, and for this guy, can you imagine some of these gaffes? And I know there are going to be people on here because you get it, and that's why, by the way, guys, that's a great insight, Matt. What you're saying about the crowds, and that's why you guys have got to get the Matt Locke Show podcast. It's free too.
Yeah,
it's free too.
I won't step on you on the way up.
Yeah, he won't step on you, but he will wave at you on the way up.
Yeah, maybe.
But hey, you got to go because that's daily. You're daily, right?
I do daily, Monday through Friday.
You got to do that thing. You got to get that because that's insightful stuff. But you're exactly right on that because now they're promoting her crowds. They're promoting.
Well, of course they are, and they're saying she's got packed houses with 700 people.
Yeah,
and they're saying, oh, look at these crowds in Seattle. Look at these crowds here. And I find it interesting because the media knows, like you and I know, Joe Biden's not the guy.
Right. And
the problem is he's tired. Mm-hmm. He's tired. I don't think his heart's in it, for one.
Right.
He was the vice president, of course, with Barack Obama. And now it's you hit on a very important issue here. 40 years, you've been in politics. What have you done? Mm-hmm. What have you done? But yet, Trump's been in there for 2.5 years, done more than any president since probably Ronald Reagan. And now it's off limits to talk about his mental acuity or his age. But they drilled Ronald Reagan when he was 69.
Right.
It is such a double standard we see today when it comes to our politics. And I feel really bad for Joe Biden because I don't think he wants to be there. And I think he's going to feel better when it's over. Yeah. Because he won't be, we live in the Me Too moment. It's going to be a woman. I called this on my show about a month or two ago. I said, you know what? It's going to be a historic ticket out of the Democrat Party because it's going to be an all-woman. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have a woman president running, you're gonna have a woman vice president running, and that's going to be the next victimhood status the left uses. Yeah. It's got to be an all-woman ticket.
Speaking of women and Me Too, I want to get into something, but first I got to do this, Reed. I want to talk about something that this is pretty good. This is a great product, actually. This is a great company. You ever heard of Keeps?
No.
Familiar with Keeps?
No.
I love Keeps. Keeps.com. Keeps. Listen, because losing our hair, we all do it. It sucks. Men lose their hair. Steve, show them. Look at Steve. But even Steve's got a little receding spot right there.
It's been like that.
I'm not taking my hat off because mine's going backwards.
Yeah. I had to get hair help, okay? So, but what you may not know, is there's this hormone that men have, DHT, and your hair loss is usually a result of that hormone going away. But guess what? Keeps gives you a solution. FDA approved 2 hair treatment products to help control your DHT and prevent you from losing your hair. It's even triggered hair regrowth in a good percentage of guys. But until now, those products were very expensive. You got to visit your doctor. Here's the good news. You can go to Keeps. Keeps offers the generic versions of those 2 approved hair products. So not only are you using something that's 90% effective, they're totally affordable. You should get some for Joseph.
Well, I was actually going to ask, it's not just men that lose
No,
hair.
no.
As you get, I mean, I feel like sometimes I'm like, I feel like this is thinner.
Yeah.
Can women use Keeps?
Well,
is there?
here's
Let's
the
find
deal.
out.
Well, you know what? You girls already get everything. This is for us guys. With Keeps, you can save your
that the
hair
truth?
without ever leaving your couch. See? Guy thing. Answer a few questions, snap a few pictures of your hair, and a licensed doctor will review your
Sexist.
info and recommend the right hair loss treatment for you. Then it's shipped discreetly to your door. You got you get the special deal. I'm going to give it to you right now. Go to Keeps, KEEPS.com/action for your free online doctor consult and get your first month of hair treatments free. That's Keeps.com/action. Keeps.com/action. Get some hair, guys. Come on.
Discreetly to your door.
Discreetly to your
I'm like,
yeah, like the
Discreetly.
Playboys that used to come to
have
your
to be a
door
secret.
discreetly.
I mean, how many people go
tell
through
you.
your mail before it gets to you?
Right.
The postman.
You know, my thing is, like, we talk about Roman.com. Get Roman.com. Love them. Keeps.com. Used to use them. Great products, great companies, all of these things. And and this whole discreetly to your door, I don't do anything in my life discreetly.
No.
Like,
Get
nothing
Ro-
embarrasses me.
No.
Get Roman
Shouldn't be.
could have like sirens and lights on that package. My wife's running
Did
for
he say
it to grab it out of the mail.
Sirens.
Sirens.
Sirens. and
Yeah,
lights?
that's like when you go to the mall and you go up those
Yeah.
moving stairs, those escalators.
escalators.
Yeah, that's-
Sirens.
Shut up, leave me alone. Shut up, Chad.
Let me tell you, talking about Me Too and women, there was something that I read that was just fascinating to me. It's the end of an era. The last remaining Peep show in Las Vegas.
It
has
is an end of the era. Have you ever been to a
closed.
Peep show?
Yeah.
Can you
A
admit
Peep
it?
show, like you go in, and the curtain comes up or the little thing. No, I've never done that.
No.
You have a glass divider, you put a quarter in or
Yeah.
whatever.
I've
it goes
never
up.
done that.
You
Have
watch
you?
it for a few minutes. I've never been to one.
You got any spare change laying around? No, I never have. I mean, stuff like that was always in the. I mean, I've been in some pretty shady places in my life, but
Oceanside,
Yeah.
California.
Have you ever
used to
done
have
that?
Some.
You ever
The
been to
Peep
one?
show? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to a Peep show once or twice.
I don't ever think I've even necessarily.
Way-
Maybe I have and not even known. I
Back-
don't know that I've seen a Peep show that.
Back
like
when I was
passed
a
the
young
building and knew
man.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Young man.
Yeah.
Not recently, honey.
That kind of deal, like going to strip clubs or whatever, that's just never done anything for me. I'm like,
I'd throw your money
it's
away.
the most manipulative thing
Yeah.
in the world. You're going to go out, I'm going to give a girl some money for what?
Nothing.
For just get frustrated?
Yeah, just go on the internet.
I got a wife. I can get frustrated
You can
enough.
give her money and not see it
Yeah.
either. Yes.
I mean,
You get
know,
Roman and then go to the strip club.
yeah. Showgirl Video, Las Vegas, shut down last month after 40 years, man.
Oh, an end of an era.
40 years. Yeah, adult video and bookstore was believed. Like, do you ever go down the highway and you see those big metal buildings and it says adult video?
Oh,
or
Lions Den.
And then you got
yeah.
like 2 semi-trucks parked out
Oh,
there.
yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
who the hell goes into an adult video?
I know what happened to the Peep show. That woman retired after 40 years.
the snake lady,
that was her
her
only
snake
job.
finally died.
Yes. Her
it-
only job.
Her teeth fell out. Maybe she needs some Keeps.com.
It's like the show down in Tijuana.
Natalie,
one day.
what are you thinking about?
I'm
You are
calling
deep in
BS
thought.
because you just said who goes into one of those XXX stores?
A lot of men.
You.
No.
What?
You can, if you wanted to do that, you can watch it on the internet.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Now, I'm not talking about one of these
there's
high-class
toys.
adult toy novelty stores.
Okay, well,
I
but
mean,
that
my
has
wife's
all
got
that.
a credit line, but
Those are fun to go in.
And
Okay.
they have a drawer.
I mean, you're
yeah.
getting it. You're just not stopping with the 2 18-wheelers.
no, I mean, it's in your home, it's in your house.
But Chad, it's a lot easier today to stay at home and have your box delivered secretly
Discreetly.
And there's probably a company
than
that
it
does that.
was, even 15 years ago.
But I'm saying to this
Today.
day,
Got it.
2019, you still see these things, and I'm like, well, who's going in there?
Do you
like
know they
Playboy
have,
magazine.
Now I could say
Irrelevant.
what I
Well, you just
assume
read
is
Playboy
going
for the
on in
articles.
there.
Always.
Come on.
but they have private rooms you can rent a video at that store and go in. Don't ask me how I know. I've never been to one, but I've heard this.
Yeah, you can go in the private
so much
rooms.
DNA.
Yeah.
And I can only
Yeah. I'm kind of a germaphobe with that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want someone else's DNA.
That's why you got to
Yeah.
carry Clorox wipes in your backpack. I do.
Look, Steve's prepared.
Steve's going to unroll the tackle box here in a minute.
Steve.
Yeah.
No judgment.
But you know what the building's going to become, Steve? What would you think it's going to become in Las Vegas after our experiences in Las Vegas?
It's going to be a weed shop.
It's going to be a dispensary.
Dispensary.
That's exactly right.
Have you been to the dispensary in Las Vegas?
It's a big one, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the Apple store for weed.
It really is.
They got cases out there. It's clean. The people
Drones
are nice.
flying
Oh yeah,
around.
I mean,
It's incredible.
Yeah, I was there the gun show, the
SHOT Show.
Yeah,
We
SHOT
were
Show
too.
out there. Unbelievable.
We did an episode of Humor Me.
Humor Me. We were out there. So we
At,
went out there and featured that in a segment because we did a whole episode of Humor Me about weed, about marijuana.
Yeah.
And, people are funny about when because I'll do videos every now and then talking about like out in Trinidad, Colorado, they were building this weed mall, and I did a video a while back making fun of now they're going to have the most active place in the mall will be the food court, and they'll have multiple sunglass huts,
Yep.
and they'll have Spencer gifts, So, but people get mad at me because they still never know where I come down. Like I'll say things that sound for it, I'll say things that sound against it. I'm a libertarian, so I don't really care what you do.
Exactly.
Smoke it if you got it.
Yeah, in Colorado, it's legal. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we went in there, and that place was overwhelming. And, they're expanding that. It's going to be 150,000 square feet in that dispensary. It's the world's
For
largest.
marijuana.
They're going to have a
for
place
weed.
that you can actually smoke it while you're there and all that kind of stuff.
So how do you get home?
You don't. You have to Uber.
You got Uber, baby.
Okay. I mean, and, that's the big thing with me too. I'm libertarian.
Yeah.
And, I know people, they'll go out to a bar and they'll drink. And, if you've had too much to drink, you're not driving home. If you have too much weed, how you getting home? Yeah. I mean, I think it should
Really
be
slow.
and paranoid. And paranoid. Yeah.
The one eye open.
Yeah.
Not that I know that.
You're doing like 65, but you feel like you're doing 65, you're doing 20?
Yes.
I've never, though, that's one of those topics. When you start talking about weed and THC and CBD, and I'm telling you, you just bring it up and you laugh about it, you joke about it. People get so triggered over this stuff.
Yeah.
Selective outrage.
Because it's, again, pick your outrage.
Yep.
It's one of those things where people are like, yeah, but I had someone in my family that had cancer and it helps me. Okay, good.
Good. Glad I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched a Cheech and Chong movie? They didn't have cancer.
Well, see,
they
now
were
you're
getting
They had
baked.
fun, though. They had fun. They were seeing lizards and all kinds
It's
of
okay to
things.
laugh about it.
Yeah.
And then you'll be accused of making fun of someone with cancer
Yeah.
when you were not making. It's like the whole miniature pony thing.
Yeah.
It's like
You need to go to blazetv.com/humor and use promo code Chad, and you can check out our episode on the weed.
Chad.
What?
Along those lines, not along those lines, but it made me
Peep
think
show
of
or weed?
Weed. Well, it just made me
Which
think
weed?
of a news story. Is all the vaping, because I know that's also a very sexy term.
People is
but
killing
man,
people.
It's
Yeah.
killing people.
y'all, cigarettes
them
are
bad
killing
loans.
500,000 people a year in the United States alone. And
Outlaw vaping.
outlaw vaping.
You know what? We'll make a big pile of AR-15s and vapors. And we'll burn them all
In the town square.
with some books.
With a buyback.
Yeah, buy
So-
back your vape. Do a vape
Right.
buyback.
Vape buyback. I don't.
Hey,
that's-
did Beto seal his death of chance at presidency by saying people are just going to turn in their ARs?
Well, first of all, you never had a chance.
I know he never had a
So-
chance. I mean, you're polling zero now. Are you polling negative?
He's running for a VP spot. That's it. I mean,
Well-
or some kind of cabinet.
So there's the question you have to ask, and they were talking about that today. I was listening to Chris Salcedo today coming into the studio here.
Love Chris.
And I love Chris too, great dude. But they were talking about that today. I won't call him the B word. He's Francis to me because he's not Hispanic. He's Irish. He likes the apple juice too. That's what I've heard. But he ran the race with him and Cruz here in Texas was so close.
Mm-hmm.
But nationally, he can't gain any traction. Why is that?
Horrible. Well, first of all, Ted Cruz ran with 3 paid staffers. Beto ran with 1,800 paid staffers when he was running for the Senate seat in Texas.
That's what money will buy you.
And Robert Francis spent 3 times the money on the campaign because they had California money coming in. There
Oh,
was
yeah,
some
all
big
over
donors.
the country.
So they spent 3 times the money to lose by what, 3%?
Yeah, about
Something
3,
like that.
3.5%. That's about right.
They really painted him out to be some kind of savior and to be something that he's really not.
He was the vanilla Obama.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he was the next big thing, but you can't get any traction. And I know that the Democrat debate's coming up this week.
Yeah.
And we get to watch 10 people completely bore you to death.
But isn't it weird that like people like Tulsi Gabbard?
I like Tulsi.
I love Tulsi.
I like her.
Do I agree with her? No, but I like her.
I like her.
I think she's fair.
Yeah, I do too.
I think she's
honest.
Yeah, I think she's got some sense.
Yep.
And she's not on the debate stage.
Well, but the rules are rules too.
Yeah.
Perez was talking about that on Sunday. Tom Perez, the chair of the DNC. Look, you set the rules for fundraising. You set the rules for polls. These are the rules to be in the debate.
Yeah.
And there's 20 of them. You can't sit there and continue to go through these debates with 20 people. You got to narrow the field.
I like the fact that, Tulsi just went on and sat down with Dave Rubin, who
was going to be on the Blaze.
Yeah.
I love Dave.
Yeah, Dave's
the dude's
great.
smart and fair and not conservative.
Right. And so there you go. But she was at least willing to go on there and sit down with Dave, have a fair conversation. It was good stuff. Did you see where this woman, speaking of women, again, Peep Show women, this Iranian woman, she got kicked out of the, they threatened her, 29-year-old girl, threatened with 6 months in jail last week for trying to sneak into a football match in Iran. I mean, this lady loves her football.
Well, it's soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in Iran.
Right.
So here's what she did. She set herself on fire. Suffered 90% of burns to her body. Took her to the hospital, but she died.
That'll show them.
Yeah.
So she didn't make it to the game?
Well,
She's
the
setting
issue
the
is
VIP.
in Iran, women can't go to the games.
What?
They can't go to the games.
There's
You
no
see,
Me Too movement in
There's
Iran?
no Me Too movement in Iran. Everybody's and what's funny, man, is everybody wants to make peace. Everybody wants to open up the gates and just, hey, come on in. We're all one big happy human family. So
Enlightened.
Unless you're a female or homotype sexual
yeah,
in the Middle East, then you're not welcome.
not so much.
No.
Not so much. But I mean, here's a 30-year-old woman, she died, set herself on fire as a protest. Now that's like, I don't know if you saw Chappelle's newest deal, Sticks and Stones, where he talked about, when he's talking about transgender people, he's like, now these people are committed. I don't think this was in that one. He did it in Equanimity, where he said, transgender people, they're like committed to their cause. Like any guy that's going to cut his penis off and just be like, I don't need this. It's like, you're pretty committed.
That's hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, I like mine where it's at.
Yeah, exactly. He said, but like somebody like Rachel Dolezal, who's a white woman that's trying to be black, he's like, ask her what has she sacrificed to be black. Like, if you ever put a lien on your home so that you can, venture out and do a mixtape.
Who was the other guy that was white? That's Sean King.
Sean King.
That wanted to
Sean
run the-
King still thinks he's black.
Yeah, he still thinks he's African
Rachel
American.
thinks she's black.
Yeah.
Dolezal. Anyway, but like this lady was committed to getting into a soccer game. I mean, when you're like that big of a I'm going to fight for my right to see soccer.
Yeah.
So much I'm going to set myself on fire.
Set somebody else on fire, not yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's probably not the
set
best
the ref.
not the best career move.
She ain't going back to no soccer games.
No, she
I mean, I don't
died,
wanna
right?
make- yeah.
She done.
Yeah, she dressed as a man, and but she admitted that she was a woman when security tried to search her, and she's arrested.
Well, when you
taken to
start
jail.
searching her, you're gonna find out she's a lady, I think.
So that's rough,
Maybe.
man. The world is not like.
Well,
Speaking of what? Go ahead.
I want to bring up, and I don't know if you've seen it yet. You know who Jamil Hill is?
Of course.
Over at ESPN.
Sure.
She's writing an article for The Atlantic that comes out next month. And did you see what the article encompassed?
No.
She wants black athletes
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I
to
did.
stop going to white universities.
White university.
Now, my first question on that whole thing is, there are white universities?
Yeah.
Right.
When did we start color coding universities?
Yeah.
Because when I went to university, when I went to school, there were black, white, red. I mean, there were Asians. They were smart people, dumb people, people like me who weren't very smart. But they were of all ethnicities.
Yeah.
It wasn't white or black or Asian. But now she's saying, look, these overlords of college sports are using these black athletes to make money. Mm-hmm. that Jeep in your driveway and that scholarship for that university that you're getting that education ain't worth anything?
Now, you're not suggesting that the university gave him a Jeep to play ball.
Well, Jeep might be the least of the thing. I'll tell you what, I went to the University of Findlay in Ohio, and I lived in Columbus, and I covered sports right out of school. And I can tell you from personal experience, those boys, they get things.
That's the Booster Club does that. That's not the university.
Well, it is. I don't know.
Either way.
My hands are clean, but I know things show up in the driveway.
Things do show up. I was offered I was offered multiple scholarships to play ball at multiple universities, and trust me when I tell you.
Yeah, things show up.
Things happen.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, Jamel Hill. I've never there's black universities like Morehouse College.
Grambling.
Grambling.
Yeah.
You would think of those and you would say, well, those are African American universities that are predominantly. But that's crazy. Like if Martin Luther King would roll over in his grave.
Yeah.
I mean, you're asking for segregation.
And they're
saying,
begging.
Let's go back to segregation.
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely asinine.
And
let me tell you something. Do you think you get on TV this Saturday and you start watching these Division I ball players? You these guys who have a future of making tens of millions of dollars in their future, right?
Yeah.
You pick any one of them out. Some guy is running the ball for Georgia or LSU or Alabama or Clemson, and you go to that person and say, don't you wish you were playing at Morehouse?
No.
Absolutely not. Because you're not going to see Morehouse or Grambling or any of those schools on, that's after football's gone away at the end of the season. Every now and then, like, oh, yeah, by the way, we got this game going on. It just doesn't happen.
Well, Ed Reed said that. Ed Reed just retired from the Ravens, went into the Hall of Fame, and he was talking to Susie Colbert at the Hall of Fame game. I'm a big NFL fan. Started this weekend. I don't want them kneeling for the national anthem, but I still like my Colts, so I like watching the NFL. But Ed Reed told Susie Colbert, he says, this was my only ticket. If I wasn't a football player, I'd be dead by now. Mm-hmm. So you've got these African-American men who, to get off the street, to get out of poverty, to get out of their neighborhoods, they're athletes.
Yeah.
So this whole article with Jamil Hill, she's like, well, this Thibodeau kid was her main deal. He could choose between Florida A&M, which is a relatively black school, or the University of Oregon, who has a top 5 football program in the nation. What do you choose? I don't think that's a hard conversation to have for a young man who is African-American, who comes from the streets, who can go to Oregon, and in 3 to 4 years, he's going to be in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he's going to be signing multi-million-dollar contracts. What do you decide? Do you decide to go to an all-black school, or do you go to the place where you can better prepare yourself for your future occupation? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's such an uneducated premise.
Yeah.
Go to an all-black school, don't get as great of an education, and take yourself away from the advantages you'll get somewhere else. It's like saying you could work for Lockheed Martin, but you're going to work for A to Z Pilot over here. Well, what would you do if you're a rocket engineer? You're not going to go to work A to Z. You're going to go to work Lockheed. Mm-hmm. They're the big deal. The luck makes no sense.
No.
They really don't. When it comes to decisions like that, it's always based on a victimhood or the color of your skin or segregation.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and it was, I love listening to these guys because there's so many of them that are on the left, and I listen to everything.
As you should.
And these guys were talking about how ignorant and just how dumb conservatives are, just because they live in this narrow little structured world of how they think things should be, and they're not open to new ideas, and they're not. And I'm like, well, if that bullshit is your new idea, I'm going to stay in my structured little cloistered world.
Yeah.
Because it's just dumb. You talk about equality of opportunity, and then you're begging for the necessity of having that opportunity taken away for some sense of social justice.
Yep.
It's stupid. Absolutely stupid. Natalie, you're so cute. Look at you.
It's thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Got to have the mic on.
How good's your memory, Natalie? Yeah?
Pretty good.
My memory tends to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. This Japanese shop worker had a photographic memory. She stole 1,300 customers' credit cards.
Not that good.
That is impressive.
That's
That's-
strong.
I mean,
I wanna be
1,300
his
is
friend.
impressive.
because you got to remember that's a 16-digit number.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then there is the expiration, and then there's the security code on the back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, photograph, like I used to have what you would consider a photo static memory. Like if I read it, I pretty much own it. But photographic, to see something and it's imprinted on your mind,
That's amazing.
that's impressive. I mean,
How long
that's
did it take them to figure out what the deal was?
well, they uncovered the scheme by tracking the sale of 2 shoulder bags worth $2,500 that were bought using stolen credit card information. So not only has she got a great memory,
She's got good taste.
she's got good taste.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think it's a
Goodwill
guy.
Hunting here
Yeah.
buying
it's a guy?
Gucci.
It's a guy.
It's a guy.
I think it's a guy.
It ain't a guy.
It isn't.
Matt Damon. But the bags were delivered to Taniguchi's apartment. So they rated
Oh.
it.
That's where you messed up. If you got it memorized and you worked at a department store, they catch you that way too. But I was trying
Yeah.
to figure out. You say, "Oh, I don't have my card, but I know the number."
Steve's looking for an angle.
I'm
So-
looking for an
He's
angle.
angling.
Like,
So what she would do is obviously she would see them, remember them, and she had a notepad and she would just write them down. And so when they came into her raided her apartment, that's what they found.
Was he or
It's-
she?
it's
is it
still a
he?
guy.
It's still a guy. Are you sure? And
he was buying
It
handbags.
says he allegedly
it's okay
used
these
details.
days.
I don't-
Oh, so it's the man purse, like on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
The satchel.
Oh,
Merce.
this is a dude.
Merce.
It was a dude. It was a Merce.
This is a guy.
That's what it says. But
Still a great.
Oh, yeah, it does
Still
say
a great
that.
memory.
Yeah. I didn't read that. Anyway, it's impressive.
this guy should use that to his favor for good.
One would think.
Not for evil.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a superpower. You're right. I
Yes.
mean, think about it, because I'm like Chad. I kind of have a photostatic
Yeah.
memory. As soon as I read something, I can remember it almost word for word, but I can't remember everything
Yeah.
word for word, which that's impressive. 1,300 credit cards.
Yeah.
That's
Hey.
That's impressive.
Impressive.
It's impressive. Crazy stuff going on in the world today. It really is. I want to get out of here. But you know what? Matlock, the Matlock Show. You took the bull by the horns, man.
I try.
You did it.
I'm loud.
You're doing it.
Well, I started this podcast in my basement 5 years ago. I looked at my wife and I said, I have something to say. If you know me, you know that's true. I like to talk. But I've got a funny story. So I'd been doing my podcast for about 1.5 years, and I get this phone call. And you got buddies like I got buddies, right? You got buddies that prank you. They'll call you up and they'll say stupid stuff and lead you on and have people call you, right?
Yeah.
So I've been toiling in my basement in Fort Wayne, Indiana with this podcast for 1.5 years, getting some traction. And I get a call from a guy by the name of Ryan Recker who says he's the program director at Whoa. So I gave him about all of 15 seconds. I said, yeah, right. Which one of my buddies put you up to it? He's like, no. I'm really the program director at Whoa. So I hung up on him. 20 seconds later, phone rings. He says, yeah, it's me again. I said, Ryan, yeah. Why don't you come down to Whoa, we want to talk to you. And I said, oh, okay. So I drive to the south end of town, because that's where Whoa's out on Maples, out south of town. And this dude, you're going to laugh, he's in St. Louis now. This dude is like 4'6". I'm 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
So I go walking in there. And he's on the phone in his office. And if you walk into Whoa Studios, and that's where I met Glenn Beck for the first time, was in the Whoa Studios. He was campaigning with Ted Cruz there in Fort Wayne. But if you walk into the studios, you've got all the offices of the PDs on the right, all the studios for the AM, the 90s rock, pop, the hardcore alternative, all are down that road, right? You ever heard of a man by the name of Bob Chase?
Mm-hmm.
He's in the studio in Whoa doing his Bob Chase minutes. And the guy's a radio legend in Fort Wayne, called Comment Hockey for 65 years.
Right.
So the biggest thrill I've ever had in radio in my entire life, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now, is I got to sit in there and listen to him do his moments. Guy's 89 years old, smooth as could be, popping out those little moments for Whoa, and had the greatest conversation with him. But I just love radio. I love talking to people. I love talking about politics, and I love this country.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to be on Whoa, which is most people don't. Been on the Blaze here with Glenn, which most people don't. And we've had a good time with it. Hell, I moved halfway across the country to Fort Worth to be here from Fort Wayne. So we're going to talk about politics.
Now you're doing it with the Matlock Show.
Yeah.
Rocking and rolling, baby.
We're trying. We're trying hard to.
That thing popped right up in the rankings, though. I mean,
It did. The nice thing was, and what I had done before is I had started the Matlock Show and went to the Conservative Cartel.
Yeah.
And did that for 3 years. Now I'm back to the Matlock Show, and the nice thing about that is all the stuff was already there. All my following was there. All the stuff was there, and it's a little bit easier with my name than the cartel, but it's more relatable. Same loudness, same in-your-face politics.
Now you're in the top 20 on the Chad Prather Show.
I know. I mean, you're like a celebrity. It's amazing.
I'm stepping on everyone.
Yes, I mean, I've got your boot print over here as you walked on up.
I am literally stepping on everybody.
But 21 in the rankings, and you're in the news.
Yeah.
I'm in the politics section. A little bit different. The news has everybody. You're in with the big hitters like Crowder and Beck and Levin and all those big hitters.
Well, it's everybody. I have to give everybody the thanks because because they're doing what we ask them to do, and that's going where podcasts are offered. Because this is a movement. Like I'm the same way. I mean, I started a podcast sitting at my kitchen table, and I said, okay. And so this thing it's ebbed and waned, and it's gone up and down, up and down. Then we went through a long lull because so many of these episodes were on Facebook, and it was just easy for people to get. But you couldn't count the numbers. But people are doing what we've asked them to do. So and again, like yourself, we've got a faithful audience. Folks that are here, we can count on them, and I love it, and we're just going to get bigger and bigger. So I tell everybody, not only go check out the Matlock Show, it's free.
It is
free.
Where
podcasts are offered.
It is free.
And get your daily insight, get your information. You're going to love it. And if you're not already listening to it, and I know a lot of our folks are already listening to it.
Yes.
So do that, and then also go to where podcasts are offered, get the Chad Prather Show, and find me out on the road. Watch chad.com, or you can go to Freedom. No, sorry, we changed it. Yeah, Freedom to Laugh Tour.com.
How many times have you changed that?
7, 8, 9.
Because it started out as the MAGA.
It's going to be MAGA country,
Which I like that.
And
then
everybody got butthurt.
Yeah, got their JJ's in a wad.
And we couldn't promote it.
Yeah.
Because Facebook was fighting it.
Yeah.
That's a
so
shame.
then, because we
It
said, well, let's come out with just a funny, outlandish name. We said Eagles of Liberty. Jesse Waters was like, it sounds like a biker gang. I was like, yeah.
It does. Do you got colors? You got cuts? You got some vests?
No, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Matt Lyda said. It's like we're a suburban biker gang. But
one of my buddies in Ohio, he works for a generally large electric company, and couldn't even search the word MAGA on their work computers.
Well, that's the thing. People
Blocks them
trying to
out.
go out there and search MAGA country. Well, a lot of their work computers, you can't even type the word MAGA in.
Right.
So we changed it. And then our guys out in Hollywood said, let's just make it nice and easy. Freedom to laugh.
Yeah.
They don't even like Eagles of Liberty, but we're like, we're the Eagles, damn it. So
I can't wait to make it to here in Dallas. We're going to come
coming.
see you.
October, we're going to be there.
I'm ready.
Yeah, that's the one ticket link that's not up, and that is the Arlington, Texas show.
Yeah.
And I want to sell that sucker out. I want to make a statement. I want to sell it out like 2-3 times over. It's going to be a Sunday show.
Oh.
It's going to be a Sunday afternoon and evening show. I know it's harder for people to do
football.
that. But because I'm doing my Star Spangled Banter, I'm all over the place. We all have schedules, and we're trying to figure out what dates we can do it. But see, that's the other thing. Most of these clubs, they don't want to. So we're doing it in the improvs because the guy backing us he's the primary owner of all the improvs.
Okay.
So anyway, so he's taking a risk too.
Sure.
But a lot of these clubs are like, yeah, we'll give you the off dates. We'll give you the off dates because, so we're doing Wednesday night shows and Thursday night shows and stuff like that.
Right.
And but I want to create a movement, just like with this podcast, just like with your podcast. I want to create a movement that goes out and says, F the left, man. I mean, at the end of the day, they don't own comedy.
No.
They don't own talk. They don't own the airwaves. They don't own Hollywood. Yes, right now, are they controlling it in a big way? They are. But no, we're not going to go around the wall or over the wall. We're going to knock the wall down. And there are people out there who feel starved for entertainment. They feel starved for entertainment. They go to a concert. They fall in love with some guy who's a great, singer, songwriter, or whatever. And they're like, that's my guy. And then he comes out the next day and, Taylor Swift's them. Where now, you're going to throw your hat in the ring and you're anti-guns and you're anti. And it's like, dang, man, we can't even go to country music anymore and find our values because everybody's got to be a damn social justice warrior. And everybody's got to come out there and appease everybody.
Well, NASCAR just folded on that. NASCAR and the guns. And that's one of the things where, in my mind, that's your bread and butter. Yeah. That is your key demographic
Yeah.
when it comes to MAGA, when it comes to working blue class folks.
Yeah.
They like their NASCAR, and if NASCAR is going to go that way, I'd hate to be their marketing person.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think that's the right
I don't
way.
wanna answer
And you're
those
right
emails.
about that. But you're right about that. People are so tired of having all of this social justice, telling them what they can and can't do, what they can and can't watch. How about we just laugh? How about we just have a good time? And at least with conservatives, we can make fun of ourselves. I mean, look at my big toe. Come on.
Look at you.
We make fun of ourselves
just put
all
it
the
out
I'm a
there.
big, ugly dude. I got a face for radio, but we make fun of ourselves. And we're not overly,
We do. We're very self-deprecating.
Yeah.
We have a good time.
The left doesn't.
We have no, because they're too offended.
Yep.
They're too easy, too thin-skinned, and we're very self-deprecating. We can come at each other and have fun. Look, and we're not Trump puppets in
No.
that. We're not Trump puppets. And even I was talking to Reno Collier on the phone this morning on the way into the studio, and we were talking about these shows, and it was like, we're not going out doing Trump comedy.
Right.
We're doing common sense conservative comedy. I make fun of Trump. I mean, it's too easy in many ways. Like if it's a good joke, if it's a good bit that works, that's one thing. But I'm going to make fun of everybody. I don't care. But it's still going to be from a common sense conservative perspective. Comedy's been lost. People can't take a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to go out there and do it.
There you go. I look forward to it.
We're going to
I can't wait.
blow it up.
I'm ready for the Arlington show, October. I already got it marked in my calendar.
Boom.
It's in.
The Matlock Show. Hot news, Natalie. So he's so cute.
You guys are fun today.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah,
We try.
yeah, well.
Yeah.
Party Foul Steve.
I'm
What
good.
you wearing over there? What's your
Party
shirt
Foul
say?
Nation shirt.
Party Foul approved.
Party Foul approved. Party Foul Nation shirt.
PartyFoulTX.com.
PartyFoulNation.com.
PartyFoulNation.com. Look at you.
Coming at you.
You're an entrepreneur.
Trying to be.
You know, the
Building an
next
empire.
the next show, everybody needs to wear the Tommy John underwear.
That's it.
And
I got a bunch
that's
of
it.
them out in the car. I got
I'll
them in
wear
the
the
trunk.
bra.
You said there's a
Double X.
bra.
I got
I'm in.
I got them still in the back.
Natalie and I are going to go shopping today for Tommy John bras.
Oh,
Yeah. Just wear
Well,
it.
that sounds fun.
We can all wear Tommy John.
I need to run by the house and get Roman first.
Gosh.
No, you don't. The last thing you need on board when you go in there watching that. Natalie, I've never been to a Peep show. Maybe I need to go shopping with y'all.
Well,
God,
well, if I've had no problem changing in the studio sometimes.
Yeah, we
so
know.
you've been subjected even then when you didn't want to be.
I know. I always turn around, but that's perfect reflective glass right there.
he is a man of many talents. I
Not
have
shy.
to tell you, that
Thanks.
Party Foul Steve, he got her covered.
Yeah, trust me, he does.
I just hoping my wife's not watching this deep into the podcast.
He's doing it at the end
If
of the
not,
show.
Tony's she's gonna skim my
Good man.
hide.
Good man.
She loves Natalie more than I do. So.
I love
Whoa,
her.
Whoa.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
The Puppet Master Mark, thank you, buddy, for driving the ship today.
You get it?
And Candice, Queen of the Ethiopian, she had to step out because she's got to get this podcast up and ready to rock and roll tonight. We love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.